What's one rule that your school workplace has implemented that absolutely backfired? One of top managers for my work decided that everyone who's worked there for 7+ years had to do a special online training course that consisted of two 400+ page volumes of leadership training, followed by a 20 to 25 question test for each volume. You were expected to complete this within 1 year of being automatically signed up for the course. Failure to pass the tests or to complete the course by the end of that year rendered you ineligible for promotions and almost guaranteed to be laid off within a year. So many people tried to take the guaranteed severance package option by not doing the course that they had to change the rule that you wouldn't get laid off or not promoted, but you still had to do the course. People still didn't do it. That guy finally left shortly after and a new guy replaced him and promptly chucked that course and the whole idea of it into the garbage. We weren't allowed to be friends with kids in grades above us, but we could be friends with kids in grades below us. That rule didn't last long. Turn to your left and shake hands with the person standing next to you. My high school banned girls from wearing any shirt that exposed their bra straps because seeing a bra strap would give high school boys evil thoughts. Most of the girls in school responded by wearing the same shirts they'd always worn. Without bras, as a teenage boy, it was a happy couple weeks. The school tried to then mandate that all female students wear bras, until a male teacher asked a 15-year-old if she was wearing appropriate undergarments or not. She called them a pervert, her parents, who thought the whole dress code things was as stupid as most of the students, threatened a gender-biased harassment suit against the school. Everybody in charge panicked, and it all went back to the way it was before they tried to change anything. When my school moved to a newly built site, they also tried to establish a new rule set for a new generation or something. The first one, because they loved their fancy new building so much, was that nobody was allowed to leave the building until the end of the school day, including breaks. The front door would literally be locked unless there was a fire alarm. Suffice to say, either nobody turned up or a lot of fire alarms were pulled before the rule was thrown away. There were also military-style uniform inspections at random throughout the day, and they looked to us, I was in 6th form, to set the example for the kids. However, they were so overzealous and dictatorial that it became comical, and we all very quickly stopped caring and told them to send us home or get lost and stop treating us like trash. There were more stupid rules like this, but our first group of 6th form ended up tearing them all down in a couple of months. I didn't reach my 6th form until much older in life. Great work, Oasis. Do you know that I give you money for uploading my videos to TikTok, and the one who gains the most views in a month gets an extra $1,000? More details on my Discord server, link in the comments. Work instituted a point system for being late or calling off sick. Accrue too many points and you get written up, fired if it continues. They doled out the same number of points whether someone was a minute late or called off altogether. And if an absence lasted up to 5 days, it was still only one absence. So anyone who overslept or encountered heavy traffic and was running late would just stay home for the rest of the week. After several months, they decided that being late was only worth half a point. No personal conversations. The office would be silent for hours and motivation took a huge nosedive. If the owner heard a personal conversation, he would call the person out and yell at them. God, that owner was a dong. Glad I got out. I took over managing a group whose previous boss had this rule. Productivity skyrocketed. The part I'm most proud of is the employee I was warned about being lazy and belligerent became one of my best assets. All it took was to treat him with respect. Because of rumors of a drug problem in the school the administration decided to drug test students. The media jumped all over that, violation of our civil rights or something. The initial statement was that anyone who failed the test would be kicked out of school. After the 40th or so kid failed, they changed the policy to mandatory meetings with the counselor. After the 100th kid failed, they hired another counselor. In our office, we're not allowed to have more than 14 consecutive days off. So one guy booked a cruise for a month, booked off 14 days, then 1 day back, then another 14 days off. He called in sick on his 1 day back. My friend worked as a technician at a place that did installation for telecom, sound, cable, pretty much anything tech related really. The techs were paid by work order completion. Each job had a value that got paid out when you finished the work order. The experienced techs could finish more jobs in a day and made some seriously good money. They were motivated to work fast to get more jobs done, but also to do it correctly because having to go back within a certain time window and fix a problem didn't pay out, so it lost money. Well, some new management came in and decided to change everyone to hourly wages. Their idea to make techs focus on getting the job done right and not rushing it. All the really good techs saw a massive pay cut from it and immediately quit. The rest of the techs suddenly had no reason to finish jobs quickly since you got paid the same whether you did 2 installs or 10 installs in one day, so everyone just started slacking off. Within a few weeks, the orders were backed up so bad install dates were pushed out for a month or more, and when people finally did get their stuff installed, it took all day instead of a couple hours. That one change completely flicked over the company. Nothing like greedy management to completely f up a good thing. Our school just brought in sniffing dogs that would randomly come into classrooms. The thing was, the sheriff's department would always be parked in front of the school before the first bell with clearly marked K9 cars. So anybody who had would see the cars and just skip school that day. Absences increased massively. My old boss tried implementing an incentive scheme for the underperformers while anyone who consistently did well received nothing. 3 of us quit within a month. Programmer here. Management implemented an agile work tracking system that measured programmers by the amount of feature requests they completed. We quickly figured out how to game that system by breaking everything down into the maximum number of feature requests we could imagine. We'd make separate feature stories for make new button, make button blue, make button respond when clicked, make new page for the new report, run business logic to get results, display results in grid, set font for grid, make grid sortable, make back button return to previous page. We became great at dividing a one-day task into 21-hour tasks. Management loved it. Our team looked 20 times as productive and became an example to show off our process as the best performing team, despite producing far less actual work and more useless form filling. No cell phones in high school. Security collected them when you walked in, put them in Ziploc bags, and locked them up. They lost like 5 people's phones. Lost. We used to be allowed to stream music on our computers. Spotify was an approved program and would come installed on your computer. Someone complained about productivity despite us always doing our work, and so the banned streaming of any kind on our computers, but now everyone just listens on their phone, so you walk around the office and nearly everyone has their phone out now, so it looks even worse when sponsors come into the office. Yo, Pandora, Spotify, and YouTube are easily my best work friends. Banging out emails all day without listening to music would be borderline unbearable. College removed chairs in cafeteria so people wouldn't hang around. Now people just don't eat at the cafeteria. It's a ghost hall, and most of the food is thrown away daily. Really sad. God forbid anyone socialize in a building the college they're paying for while eating food they are also paying for. At an industrial site I used to work for, they introduced an absolutely no overtime policy. The people that most commonly worked overtime were the maintenance guys. They had to cut out their preventative maintenance in order to make their hours while being available for all shifts. It took 3 months of daily breakdowns before they decided to try something else. How more maintenance would be a good compromise to that rule? The bosses started backpedaling the policy and started to tell him it wasn't for him and they'll let it slide. He loudly stated that it wouldn't be fair if they made an exception for him and that he would see them Tuesday. When he got back to work on Tuesday, the policy was gone. Same company years later hired some absolute genius of an accountant who sold the idea to management that employees were making more than management and that they should go from commission to salary. All the top salesmen jumped ship ASAP. The reminding bottom feeders got a raise compared to their normal salary and commission, and they didn't have to do crap all day to get it. Less than a year later, they shut their doors for the last time. Jesus Christ. What fool thinks it's a good idea to completely remove the incentive for selling things? That's how you go from a place of business to Walmart cuffs. Any software related to job, whether written inside or outside company time, belongs to the company. Me. So if I write and release malware at home, it's the company's problem. The clause was immediately removed. Lowndale R14 School in Lowndale, MO, late 80s, early 90s, our fairly small rural school went from K-8, so we split lunchtimes in our gym or cafeteria. For some reason, our school actually invested in a noise control system because we could apparently be quite loud during lunch, and I guess the teachers got tired of trying to keep us kids quietish and eat. This new piece of equipment was mounted high on the wall and looked exactly like a stoplight. When it was green, we were free to talk. If it became yellow, we were to be careful of how much noise we made. If it turned red, it would buzz loud, like when the game clock runs out at a basketball game. Installing this thing almost immediately had the opposite effect they desired. It became a game to us. We would only get quiet in order to make it go back to green. Then, as a large group, we would progressively get louder. We'd stall it out at yellow before surging our collective voices to make it hit red and buzzes, at which time we would all cheer, laugh, and get quiet again to reset it to green. Good times. That's why they frown on putting breathalyzers in bars. Turns it into a competition. During our general meeting last week, the owner of the company went on a bit of a rant about negative reviews of management on a popular jobs website with a green logo. He demanded that we stop posting negative reviews immediately and shamed anyone in the room who had done so. As you can guess, people doubled down and posted their grievances on the same day as the meeting. The green logo company doesn't take too kindly to that sort of behavior. Seriously, they will terminate service if management is caught doing that. Reported. Any support call lasting longer than 25 minutes must be reported to higher-ups for review, i.e. if you have too many, no matter if it's your fault or not, you get a disciplinary review. I implemented the rule of politely hang up on a customer as close to 25 minutes as you can and call them right back. I am sorry, I am experiencing a small issue with my phone. Is it ok if I call you right back? Gotcha. Outgoing calls are not reported or recorded. It's amazing. Boss insists that lunchtime is from 12 o'clock. 12:30 p.m., no exceptions. Lunch is not paid time. The second day he comes in hot to trot with something for me to do between 12 o'clock and 12:30 and needs it done right away. I look over at my clock, which says 12:09 or whatever, and say you said yesterday that lunch is from 12 o'clock to 12:30. No exceptions, and went back to my sandwich. If I don't get paid from 12 o'clock to 12:30, there's no way in heck I'm working for free. For some reason my department started a rule having to keep phones in their cars or locker. Eventually the supervisor said cause no other department was told this. If you haven't watched my other videos, then be sure to watch this one. I bet it will amaze you. Or you can watch all our videos in a row in this playlist. Write your stories in the comments, subscribe, turn on the bell, and go to our Discord. There we give you money for uploading our videos to TikTok. You uploaded, you gained views, you got money. Link in the comments.